All right, class 2, part 2, visual storytelling for painters. Thank you for helping me with my demo painting. That was a ton of fun working with everybody's insights and everything else. And I think the painting is off to a good start. So now I want to take some time to go back to our Padlet page and look at some of your guys' work. Let's see. We're going to try to keep it down, time-wise, down a little bit. So anyways, let's just jump over. Okay, everybody sees the Padlet page?
No.
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
You do not.
Yeah.
See it? Yeah, we see it
It
now.
is now.
Oh, okay. A little bit of a delay.
Yep.
Okay, great. So posted the class videos there, and that's where they will be going forward, as well as I always send out an email with links to it. So you guys can keep those. You do know that I share some of the part of the class for free on YouTube, but like this part will not be for everybody. This will be private and only for our class. And so just so you know, if you're just trying to find it on YouTube, you will not be able to find it. So you'll have to either go to your email or to this section here under class videos. All right. I didn't go into Notan in too much information today. So I went ahead and posted a video from an artist named Proco about doing and how to use Notans and 3-value sketches. And then I also grabbed some notes and posted those here. So if you find Notan interesting and exciting, which you should, I promise it feels like extra work, but it really makes the world much easier and more fun, because then once you get all that set up, then you get to go crazy with color, which is everybody, mostly Regini's favorite part. Class handouts, put the handout for today on there. So that's always there. And again, if you've deleted your email and you would like to print this out, please go over, you see my mouse here moving across the screen, go over to these 3 dots and download attachment, and you can save that to your computer. And
that's not what I'm seeing, the delete at the bottom.
You're not seeing that part. Okay, well, let me show you a quick side little thing here. So when I go here to my share area, and I think I'm the only person that gets this share, I've invited all of you guys to be in here. Gail, it says you haven't signed in.
And I keep clicking on it. Do I need to go back and re-register for Padlet or something? Because I've clicked on your invitation.
I don't know why it's not doing it. So I just sent it to Gail, Beverly, Diane, and Lisa again. So for some reason, the 4 of you guys have not. I never see what this looks like on your end, so I don't know. But everybody else has received it, and through that they get moderator. Gail, for you, I even made you an admin, which is all the powers that I have. And it's still not working yet.
And I click on the accept button.
I do not
there's something
understand.
I need to do besides clicking on the accept button. That's what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, do you have a 14-year-old running around?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to borrow one.
Yeah, you're kind of screwed. What was that, Cheryl?
I still had my account from the last time. I just put in Padlet.com and signed in the way I always did, and it just automatically comes up with your stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I literally, I apologize. I should see if I can invite myself, or maybe use one of my other emails.
I was in a different group that had a Padlet, and the people who had a Padlet account did better than the people who did not. So I don't know if that's
And you
part.
can sign up for a free Padlet account. It does not, do not pay for it because I pay for it to have all this storage. So if it asks you to pay, you can sign up for the account for free. Because this is used by teachers around the United States.
Mhm.
And, you know, of course, they're not going to make their second graders pay for it, even though they would know how to fix it.
Yeah, I just went to Padlet.com and that didn't work either.
I'm so
So I'm
sorry.
doing
Yeah,
something wrong.
Well,
we'll try to figure it out.
I'm able to
We'll
log in.
we'll figure it out Thursday or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll work on it tomorrow.
Okay.
So anyways, online links is a great place to share. If you find something like I shared the Tonalist Society show, you click on that, you can go and check out just beautiful paintings. Unfortunately, I did not enter, which means I didn't get denied. And then resources. We were talking about the Gambling Ground at the beginning of class. We also, Gail, do you use the blades to spread it?
The Gambling Ground, yeah, I do.
Okay.
And I
So
let it
just-
dry for a couple of days between applications, and right now I'm using 3.
3 coats.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay.
And then I just sand it really lightly.
Perfect. Perfect. And then you wipe that down.
How much do you thin that down? What kind of a consistency did,
Kind of like Elmer's glue.
okay, thanks.
Yeah, I've heard mayonnaise because it comes out pretty thick, like caulking.
Yeah, like plaster of Paris or something.
Yeah, it comes out super thick. And I didn't know that I was supposed to thin it when I first got it. And it took weeks and weeks to dry.
Yeah.
And every little brush stroke left its marks. So yeah, thinning it down. And what I found and what I've learned since that is use like a palette knife or a spoon or whatever, and get it out, put it on like I use plastic plates like for camping or whatever.
Mhm.
I put it down, add the paint thinner to that, so I'm not adding it to the can. And Gail, help me if I'm not using it the best way. But
I got a separate, like a mason jar, and I just scoop some of it out of the can into the mason jar and pour some Gamasol in it, shake it up. And then I can pour it onto my canvas and move it around with this blade.
Can
so
you,
much smarter, see?
can you
That's-
please review just in a sentence, is this in lieu of gesso or what do you use it for?
Yes. So let's just say, Michelle, that for once you're not happy with one of your oil paintings. That this is what you can cover your oil, because you can't put gesso, which is a water-based, over an old oil painting. So you can use Gambling Ground, which is an oil-based medium, like it's basically gesso, but it's with oil. So a lot of my old oil paintings that I want to paint over, which is a lot, like 40 a year. I mean, I paint over so many paintings. Mostly demos from class. And I can use this Gambling Ground. And again, I was using it incorrectly in the beginning. I found it to be, I hated it. It smells bad. It dries really, really slow. And because I have a cat and a dog, there's hairs in it, just from the dust of the
There's
studio.
difference.
And now that Gail, well, in our research together, we realized that it's meant to be mixed with a bit of Gamsol, which is the paint thinner that Gamblin makes.
Mhm.
For those of you who don't know, Gamsol is an ultra refined paint thinner, which is much better than like any of the other paint thinners that make your studio super toxic and
Mhm.
really too stinky. So anyways, it works really well. Did that answer the question?
And I think the other difference between that and gesso is chalky. It sucks the paint in. This allows the paint to stand a little more on top, which is what gives me that smooth surface and the ability to do a wipe away, on an end quote canvas surface.
Huh. So do
And
you,
that's also why I use linseed oil with my water soluble instead of water, because the water will soak in, the linseed oil will make it stand up and allow me to move it around.
Yes, and this is a perfect opportunity for me to say that I love the absorption of gesso, right? You saw when I added that yellow, and I knew it was going to stain a little bit, right?
Mhm.
I like that, and I'm used to that working quality. Whereas Gail loves to be able to wipe. Basically, when you wipe
All the
hard
way
enough,
out to
you
the
can
white.
wipe all the way
Mhm.
back, right?
Yep, and I don't like it when it soaks in.
Yeah.
In fact, I've tried, in my experimentation or whatever you want to call it with Michael, I have put, the Indian yellow and whatever all over my canvas. I've let it sit and I go to wipe it away and it wipes all the way back to white. So because it stands on the surface, but that's what I like.
Yeah, exactly. So what I do is on the back of my panels, because when I go into my storage area where I have, 50 panels prepped and ready to paint on, I don't remember, which ones are gesso, which ones are oil prime, which ones are, so I literally on the back again, I just use a roll of blue tape, and with a permanent marker, I write on there
Mhm.
what it is primed with, because I know it's going to work differently.
And when I was experimenting with how many layers and which way to layer them, I did the same thing. I had a piece of paper and I had my steps on the back. So when I found the one I liked, I could flip it over and say, this is the process or the formula that works best for me.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you have one, and I've done exactly what you said, and you're not sure what you've got on it, can you put the ground over acrylic? I
Yes.
mean, in case it's acrylic and you don't really know.
Yes.
I
You can put oils over acrylics, but you cannot put acrylics over
looks over
oils.
oil.
Okay.
Did everybody understand that? That is so unbelievably important.
It won't work.
Oils over acrylics, yes. Acrylics over oils, no. And that also includes gesso.
Mhm.
I had a student who had a show, gosh, just 5 years ago, 6 years ago, who had a show, and she didn't have money for all the canvases. So she just gessoed over a whole bunch of oil paintings, and then was freaking out because it was cracking, they were falling apart, they weren't sticking. So it just, and right, you guys have all heard that. Oil over water, but water not over oil.
Mhm.
Okay.
And you can avoid the problem
Except
by
for
just using
water
acrylic.
soluble oils, you can mix those together, can't you?
No,
Evan?
no, you can't. The only difference when you see Michael, and I know he hasn't done it a lot lately, but if he's doing an underpainting and he's dipping his brush a little bit into his solvent to thin the paint, to do his underpainting, you can do that. And you can do that with water mixable. You can dip your brush into water, do your underpainting and whatever else, but then you don't keep using water. You build it up. It's a whole thin over thick and all that jazz. But
Thick over thin.
yeah, and I just don't like the water because it soaks in. It dries that much faster, and I like to be able to move things around.
Okay.
When Michael started his painting this morning, he was drawing in things and putting in, versus wipe away, which he'll probably show you later, where he's just putting big shapes of paint, like a Notan, and then going in and removing the paint to basically get to the same spot he ended with the painting today. It's just a different way of doing it. Did I say that right, Michael?
I feel like yes, but I also don't want to overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
So
just a way of putting it down, that's all.
yeah, exactly. So you can go from water to oil, but not the other way.
Mhm.
And the thin to thick, I think we can almost talk about that next week in a more advanced way, but it's thin is like the paint thinner, or
Or water.
putting the paint on thinly, meaning like I just don't have as much paint and I spread it around. you're going to want to build your painting up. So
Mhm.
like the demo I did today is very thin. It's got paint thinner in it. It's, you know, I didn't use a lot of paint. So when I go in and add my next coat, which could be as early as tomorrow, like for the Thursday, you know, paint together, I just need to use either a touch less paint thinner, more direct paint, or I can add a little bit of oil. Be careful, do not add very much oil as a medium. And you can just keep painting and keep painting and keep painting.
Mhm. Yes.
If you are using a medium like Liquin or Galkid, like I love Galkid gel as a medium, then it's less important actually, because that medium will continue to bind to itself.
And I use glazing medium. That's the medium I use all the time. So it's just
Yeah.
different medium.
Okay, any quick questions on that? I know it all of a sudden, this is what I always get scared of when I have like, especially new students. They're like, holy crap, I didn't know I have to be a scientist. So I try to keep it really simple. I use one medium, which is Galkid gel. I use one solvent, which is Gamsol. If I paint from acrylics and then paint oils over the top, it's pretty much easy and straightforward, and I don't have many issues. So yeah, I try to keep things simple. I use the same
Sorry.
brushes. Sorry, my fingers are all covered in Indian yellow. I try to keep things as simple as possible. If you see that big white box behind me, there, that is just filled with all of the mediums and paints and everything else that I'll probably never touch again. I'm just waiting for them to dry so I don't feel guilty. Because, you know, I buy all of it. I've experimented with all of it, and I just find the simpler, the better. Find a system that works for you. It's fun to experiment and it's fun to try things. But if you go online, if you watch YouTube videos, if you go on Facebook or Instagram, you know, everybody has their formulations and it can become so daunting. But find a system just like Gail has, like Regini has, like Linda Camarada has, that is working for you, and experiment and push that and keep it simple. You'll have way less. We don't have to be mad scientists, and you don't have to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on all these weird little additives and mediums and everything else.
And the same way with the paint. Once you figure out what your palette, stick with it. You don't need 500 tubes of different colored paints.
I wish you would have told me that earlier.
I know. Well, I had to do the same thing you did. I bought 500 tubes of paint and then found 10 that I use all the time.
Exactly. I always go back to my seven colors, including white. And then I might add one other color to the palette, but keep it manageable. For those of you who are just beginning and are really curious, you know, about this, one yellow, one red, one blue, one white. That's all you need. I painted with that for years. Well, 1 year for sure. And then began to experiment beyond that.
I'm one of your new ones, but I'm an old timer, so I know all this stuff. And I paint with what I call what I don't call, but the world seems to be calling a split primary. 2 reds,
That's
2
what I-
yellows, 2 blues, a green
what
and
I
a
use,
purple,
yeah.
black and white. That's it.
That's what I use.
Exactly what I use.
And the Galka gel is to help it dry faster?
Yes, it dries faster and it makes it a little slipperier, and it adds to the transparency.
Michael,
Yep.
when you use Galkid gel, do you use little bit Gamsol with that?
If I want to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, a lot of times, and it's so little, Regini. I mean,
Yeah.
it is literally like for a big quarter-sized dollop of paint, I will add just a pea-sized bit of,
Okay.
yeah, it is so little. Basically, I use it to make the paint move a little faster. Like if the paint's tacky or a little bit sticky, just a touch of that. But I can also use my Gamsol to do the same thing.
Okay.
I almost never use mediums. Okay, so artists we admire, thank you, Manji, for adding painting by Jan. Great painter. This is a different style than I've seen from Jan before. Beautiful,
Wow.
lovely, lovely. You can see some of what I did. So imagine that I just came back with cool bluey greens and soft yellows and put it over the top. And it's not too dissimilar from the underpainting that I did, like these cool blues and stuff. They added this later. Cheryl added some paintings by Andrew Orr, who I believe you studied with at some point.
Yeah, a number of times. He's taught me China painting first. And then when I
Wow.
went to Canvas.
Yeah.
Pretty,
Lovely,
Wow.
lovely painting.
that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Real delicate, a lot of texture. We're gonna get into texture and different things here coming up in the class. But I bet you anything, Jan started the painting not too dissimilarly with big, dark, big, solid forms, and then came in and added the detail, the
Yeah.
lights, and the different differentiation. So if you saw today's demo and you're just like, that was fun, but not my style. I prefer something like Andrew Orr, a lot more detail, a lot more delicate brush strokes. Let me have a glass of ginger tea here. That you can take that painting to this level, right? The detail will come. You just have to build the painting up.
I
Man, look at
like
all
that path. I want to
Beautiful.
walk on that path.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I want to
Very
swim in
nice.
that creek, all of it. It's beautiful, right? And look at those clouds. I
Mm.
mean, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful painting. But just know that he didn't just start by painting the grasses, and the little ripples. He had it all designed and laid out. I imagine. I've never met.
Yes, yes, he does.
Yeah, and he just builds it up. How I almost think of it is Andrew Orr is painting a 1,000 piece puzzle,
Yes.
right? So what I did today is I broke the puzzle up into a 100 piece puzzle, right? I gave you the big shapes. Now I know if I wanted to paint all these grasses and all these leaves and all the beautiful minutia and finer details, that now I know where they go. Now I know their relationships based on their values and their temperature and their color. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Great. All right, here was my painting from last Thursday. This was over the top of a less than
Wow.
successful demo from a while back. We had a lot of fun, again, painting with the group, but very bright, very vibrant for me. The demo is right underneath there. Lisa, I think you were asking about that. Not a
Wow.
great photo. And I still haven't added colors on top. Like, I definitely could come back and add cool colors. Anyways, it's very scratchy and very rough. But just like we were looking at Andrew Orr's painting, I could take this to infinite detail, right? What I have is a roadmap.
Yep.
Great. All right, we're going to start on Beverly Drew.
Wow.
Yeah, rather crude, but I love the process. That's not my words. That's Beverly's. Yeah, Beverly, are you here with us?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is gorgeous. I love your big shapes. I love the simplification. It does a little bit look like an underpainting. Again, depending on where you want to go. There's so many people who, this could be a finished painting. It's very lovely. It's very free. What I like about it is I can tell you had fun.
Yes, I did.
You were giggling in a British accent, which makes me super happy.
Is that
And-
oil or acrylic?
It's oil.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about this. So how did you go about doing this? Because this is
Yes.
vibrant, it's exciting, it's fun.
I I followed your method. I did the wash over with Indian yellow
Mhm.
and let it sit for a little bit. And then I put in the main shapes, and I was a bit heavy-handed, I have to say. But anyway, as it's my first go, I thought I'd, just give it a try, and then did sort of wipe away. And then I thought, well, I want to put in the reflections in the water and the water movement. And then I thought, I'm just fiddling now. And I tried to do the sky, and it started going green. So I slathered some more blue on the top, and I thought, I'm not doing this very well. I'm going to stop.
Okay, so Graham asked this question during this week. So why do you think that blue was going green?
Because of the yellow underneath.
Perfect. Perfect, perfect. So what you're probably going to want to do is wipe that area away more.
Right.
Also,
Right.
Graham, what was the other advice that you noticed?
That you separated the yellow and blue with some red.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because if this goes to purple, which it's doing here, you can see these little kind of plum tones. So you're doing some of that, and truthfully, it looks pretty good. It's a bit strong, a little stripy,
Yeah.
It's a pretty dramatic shift. So what happened is you don't have a cool red. You went from yellow to orange to blue.
Right. Right.
And the orange, I imagine you added red to that, like a quinacridone red or some sort of red, but it went
Yes.
to orange, correct? Because of the yellow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what you'll notice that I'll do, and you saw that even in that sky painting or in the painting I was working on today, is I will extra wipe away those areas where
Right.
I know that I don't want yellow, green, orange, but I want blue and purple and cool red, and just get rid of that paint. And that's the other thing, is you don't have to take the yellow all the way up. Like if you know that it's going to be, the other thing you can do, Beverly, because we're going to live forever and time is not of the essence, is that you can just let it dry and paint over the top, and then it
Yes.
won't mix.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Can I use a hair dryer on it to speed it up?
Not with oil. I mean, yeah, maybe. I
You wouldn't recommend it.
don't know. I don't know how many hours you'd have to hold your hair dryer. Acrylics are great with that. I have not found. The truth is, when I used to do illustration projects, I used to work. Do you guys remember the Dick and Jane books?
Yep.
So I befriended that's an exaggeration. I met him twice. Really nice guy. And he told me that he would put his oil, do not do this, what I'm about to say, but he would put his oil paintings into the oven at a really low temperature. And he's like, it's going to make your house smell horrible. But because his paintings, he had to illustrate the whole book, and had these, I think there's 1,000 Dick and Jane books out there. I don't know. But that's what he did. And so I would do that. I tried doing that, and oh my gosh, it makes the paintings, the whole house smell so bad. I can't imagine the toxic fumes. He was also in areas that he messed up with his painting. He told me to use oven cleaner to get them back. And I did that as well. But his paintings weren't meant to be in a gallery. They weren't meant to, they were just meant to last long enough to be photographed and then, turned into illustrations in a book. I would never do any of that stuff anymore.
I have an illustrator friend who mainly used his car. You put it in the car in the sunshine on the back
Yeah.
ledge or the front.
Yeah.
And it works. It works.
Oh yeah,
Like a
no,
baking oven.
yeah, absolutely. When I go out plein air painting in the summer, but then you get into the car and you forgot to roll down the windows very much, and the car smells so badly. I mean, it's just gassing off so much. I mean, basically paint thinner and all this stuff. So don't do any of those things for longevity of life. But yeah, beautiful. I can tell you had a great time. This is a really great early exercise in that. And it's just, it's so weird, right? It's such an odd technique. But if it's something that you enjoy, Beverly, I can't wait to see where you go with this.
It's fantastic. I had such fun. It was
Yay.
brilliant.
It is fun.
All right, let's check out Brett. Yeah, Brett.
That's the
That is
reference.
a cool reference.
Wow.
Cool as in cold. Cool reference anyways, but a really interesting tree shape. I love the movement. I love the foreground being slightly blurred. Yeah, so what made you decide on this one?
Well, Thursday, I did that one on Friday. Thursday, I actually belong to a plein air group, so I go out plein air painting every Thursday. That's why I haven't been joining you guys. But this one was, I wanted stuff in this. I've always liked this picture, and I've always wanted to paint it sometime. But it just, to me, it kind of gives a starkness to it and a story. And I says, well, I'll give it a try. So I painted on Thursday, which I posted earlier. But then I came back and I said I wanted to paint, just figure out a story and try to get that across. So I used the tree. And I've been painting for, I had a long day Thursday, and I had drawn back, and I was going to a figure session on Saturday. So I kind of just jumped in and did that. Also, I'm experimenting with a new medium. I'm an acrylic painter, of course, but I've been using the open medium with my, and I've been using that with my regular acrylic paints, and it really does open up the time a lot. So I was just kind of trying to be more wet on wet, like your style, so I can, if I want to do wipe away, I could do that. And then I was trying to, like say, be real tight on my values a little bit, and then I did that, so it was pretty much wet on wet. Then I threw the tree on top of it. Now I thought the tree was a little too warm, but actually it came out a lot better than I thought. So I just kind of, I was just kind of looking for a quick, I wanted to do something to get a feeling across. And I was, at the time, I said, it's okay. But, I didn't think it was anything great. Then I think I told the story that I went out to the group of afterwards, and I've been known to go out and have a beer after and think about my work while I'm still fresh in my mind. And somebody walked by and said, oh, we like that tree in the storm. So that's cool.
Perfect. No, perfect. Yeah, no, it's lovely. And, I know you really well. We've, been friends for years now. And yeah, I'm more used to these real high chroma, really dramatic, blues and reds and yellows. So it's really fun to see something that's almost monochromatic. Yeah, there's a couple things. I really love the colors. I love these. I mean, there's so many beautiful grays. You really found a lot of variation in a very limited palette. As far as if I were to only see this and not the reference, I'm not sure. I wouldn't think it's an island in water.
Yep.
Not positive how to change that. The other thing is, you see the trunk?
Yep.
And then you see how everything just grows off to the edges of the tree? That would mean that somebody just came and shaved off all the branches on this side.
Yeah.
So you want to have branches going in front, behind. They don't just grow to the side.
Yeah.
And then, and then what I really liked about this reference is, talking about sexy shapes or nice movement, is you see how this tree just kind of grows back and forth and gets these really kind of cool shapes. I feel like you lost that a little bit by just making it basically into a take it with a grain of salt, but almost a generic pine tree, right? It's almost getting back to a Christmas tree form here.
Yeah, that was actually the island part came from I was wet on wet, so I couldn't really change much until I let it dry out a little bit. Then, like I said, I only did it in half an hour. And that was one thing I noticed about the tree a little bit was, the tree would need filling out. And I kind of, this is one actually I want to come back and do again in the future. I consider that to be a good draft. I was actually thinking about doing it again, but I didn't have time this week. So.
No, I mean, I think you could do that again this week, literally for this exercise. Is look for the negative and positive shapes
Yeah.
versus, because again, what happens with all of us, literally every single painter I've ever met and will ever meet, is we begin to paint things and stop looking at the shapes and the forms. Does
Yeah,
that make sense?
Yep.
I
Okay.
just want to say one thing about the open, because I also am playing around with that. And the whites are very, very thin, very light in pigment. And so I find when I want to do white, along with the open, if it's possible, I use the regular acrylic because that has more pigment in it. But then
Yeah.
you have the first fast dry versus the slow.
Well, actually, I had an interesting, that's why I kind of went with it, is Golden's says you can mix any of their acrylics and you can actually create any type of drying time or any type of mix you want. That's why I was playing.
That's cool.
this
And
one-
so you could use the heavy body paints with that too.
Oh, I was using my heavy body paint with just the medium. And so that's why I'm still haven't quite figured out how to use that stuff, but it's definitely in my arsenal now.
Yeah.
And so I was this one I deliberately wanted to be wet on wet and make it real tonal, you know. And I did that, but like I say, when I tried to get back to the trees, I was too wet. So if I had more time, I'd take the hair dryer to it and do that. But Golden says you can use open acrylics with regular hard body acrylics. They just dry fast.
Okay.
And
Yeah, no,
so-
I mean, I think it's a great experiment, and I really do enjoy it. And I love seeing this kind of monochromatic, stepping away from so much color, even though I love your use of color, especially in your figure paintings and stuff. But I think I, told you last year that, I've always thought of you as almost like a Fauvist painter, like just real heavy, direct, real colorful, real instinctual painter. And so this is a big departure from that. And I'm not saying, one's better than the other. I don't know if you have any of your figure paintings in here. See if anything.
No, I don't have any figure stuff in there, no.
Okay. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I love to see it. I think and I just think that you're just becoming so much more delicate and aware of subtle transitions. Like it's really fun to see how everybody's progressing, but because you and I, talked for a couple of years now. It's really fun to see such a big change or departure. And I love seeing you challenge yourself. And so anyways, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
By
you.
the way,
I would
sorry,
say the group gave me the conversation at the end of the last session, actually took it to heart. So I was actually pretty concentrating on that all the summer. So it was really, it was changing a lot of my things, how I do stuff. So not to say I'm going to go away from color. I still love color, but
No, and nor should you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all instinctually have our style, as we work it out, and our tastes. And I mean, I just think it's so important. Again, that's why we have that section of artists that inspire us, or artists we admire, because again, it's just so fun to see, like this one. I think Lisa added this, and this is so different. Like you would never see me paint this. Like you wouldn't take my class if this is what you want to paint, but this is so cool, right? Just beautiful and graphic and textural. And so this really helps me to go, okay. And Lisa does share a lot of really beautiful, heavy impasto, colorful work.
It almost looks like a collage.
It really does, right? Yeah. And it's just, I love seeing that. So you guys continue to share the work you love, and continue to share some of your favorite paintings, even if they're not tonalist, they're not glowy, they're, you know what I mean? Just things that you like, because that I think just helps us all help each other. All right, Cheryl, what's going to happen? Oh, nice. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on here, Cheryl. Is this the one you want us to look at?
yeah, one of them, yeah, that's the one I did for homework, but I've painted that tried to paint that scene before. I got some, came into possession of some gouache, so I tried it out. And I like it, but it's gonna take a little practice.
Yeah, it definitely does. And
Yeah.
yeah, gouache is like, whenever I paint with gouache, I'm always like, oh man, I love gouache. And then I'll go away from it for like 6 more months, basically long enough for my tubes to dry out so that I have to buy more. And anyways, I love, what I love about gouache is you got this almost acrylic, like heavy body quality in areas. And then you have this very watercolor. Gouache is great because it's kind of the best of all the worlds. And what I like about gouache is that you can paint impasto, and like you can literally take heavy white paint and it'll dry within about 10 minutes. Like, let's just say, oh, the shape of this hill is completely wrong, and then go back over and color it. So gouache is a great like travel paint, maybe one of the best for traveling and just setting up for 15-20 minutes at a time and doing quick sketching, or for doing thumbnail sketches, working out ideas. Gouache is fantastic.
Eric Rhodes took nothing but gouache to China for 2 weeks. He
No, how'd
painted
it go?
there the entire time in nothing but gouache. And he hadn't really used it much before.
Yeah, it's a fantastic medium. Again, because it can be transparent like a watercolor, or it can be impasto, thick, and have real good coverage, like an acrylic almost, or even sometimes thicker than an acrylic. So it's a tube paint, but if it dries in your plate, like where you put out all your colors, you can reactivate it by adding a little water. It's
Yeah.
very, very versatile. It's very lightweight. It
Yeah.
does a lot of fun things. So I'm going to go ahead and jump past you, Cheryl, because we're going to come back
Oh,
to your
that's fine.
reference photos. But anyways,
No
thank you
problem.
for sharing. And yeah, gouache is fantastic. So
I wanted to let the other acrylic people know that Jerry Arnell used to use his gesso for white. Because it was so
heavy
opaque.
bodied.
Yes. Just thought I'd put that in there.
Absolutely. And actually my gouache kit has, some of the colors are actually tubed watercolors.
Okay.
So you can use tubed watercolors and gouache together.
All right.
So that's a lot of fun. I mean, the main thing that made me like gouache is that I could use opaque white and really go back in and carve out shapes. And one of these days, I'll show you guys my little sketchbook of gouache paintings here. All right, Darlene, are you still with us? Have we lost you?
And I had a question early on and you answered it, because I wondered about the yellow on the background, and when I went back to try to do another one of these with the blue sky, I had a marvelous green sky, and I thought, well, do you use a different ground when you do want a blue sky? So you answered that question. Thank you.
You just
And
have
then,
to change the title to "Is a Tornado Coming?"
Yeah, that too. I kind of felt like I took I thought, oh, I need to get back to this. So I took the biggest brush I had and I did the whole thing, and I, tried just loosen up just for fun. Now I'm going to do my painting. And I had so much trouble that I just begged it. First of all, I had used that Gamblin ground on some of my canvases, and I didn't know how to use it. So I put it on right out of the can, and I have this thick stuff that looks like it was badly spackled or something. It's got, anyway, so that didn't work.
That's what happened to me too.
It was just, I just had one problem after another. And then I have some boards here. I think I might have bought for one of your other classes. I'm sure of it because that's the only ones I'd taken. And they're very ultra smooth, like a whiteboard almost. And I'm wondering, do you put gesso over that first, because it's so slippery and smooth that I don't know what to do with it.
So what you're going to want to do is look at the packaging. And if it's
I don't have to do that anymore. I threw the package away.
Because there's a chance that it was oil primed, and then you can't put gesso. But I personally, when I buy my panels, I order it with one layer of gesso because they put it on so perfectly, and it saves me some time. and then I actually add another coat of gesso, which is a much less quality gesso than they use, but it's the gesso that I've found that I like, because again, like we were talking about, it's somewhat absorbent, whereas the one that they have is so smooth and almost like a shellac base, like it's
Yeah,
so
it's so
slippery.
slick.
Yeah, and I don't love that, but other people love it. So I actually add a little bit of gesso, 1 or 2 coats, and I put it on with a foam roller, just like Linda Morgan O'Connor, and it has a tiny bit of a tooth. Like I almost don't have to sand it because the tooth is so little. I actually
Okay.
I like that little bit of a tooth. So yeah, I absolutely re-gesso pretty much every surface I ever get, just so it's the surface I'm used to. It accepts the paint. I know what's going to happen.
Which gesso is it?
Liquitex.
Liquitex student quality.
Okay, thank you.
I do not buy the pro.
Yeah, well, I
And I
have
think
some of
now
that.
they literally just call it gesso. I don't think it says student anymore. I think it just says gesso.
Gesso.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
they
I
have
have,
like a pro formula.
then I have a tube of, it is alkyd oil paint that I must have bought accidentally. So can that be used combined with my other oil paints? I haven't even taken it
Yes.
out of the package.
No, those are fantastic. Use
Okay.
those in the first layer of your painting.
Okay.
They'll dry within 24 hours. I love them. And yeah, they're great for my underlying sketch. Like if I had those today, I would have used that for my underpainting.
Okay, that answered that one. Then I also accidentally seems to have bought 1 tube of the water
That's
base or whatever, water oils. Those cannot be mixed with your oils, can they? Or
They
can they?
can.
They can. Awesome.
You just don't use water. Stay away from water.
Yeah, once
Okay,
you use
all
it,
right.
yeah, just treat
Yeah, I
it
don't
like a
use
normal
water,
tube
but
of paint.
oh, good. So I have a nice big tube of paint I can use. And I thought, oh, I think I probably got it from Amazon. And I saw the color and oil, and that's the only thing I paid attention to, and hits, send. And I get this tube of the water, oils. And I thought, oh, no, now what am I going to do with this? So, okay, great. Thank you. So
You are
with that,
good.
I just had a lot of trouble. I just couldn't get it together. I just couldn't get it together. I struggled and struggled and struggled, and I quit. So
Okay.
that was for that day.
So what I'm going to suggest you do to save this painting, because it's a fine painting, I can see, definite areas. I can see like in the middle of this cloud where it's that doesn't even make sense why it's surrounded by pink and then white in the middle. But all you're going to do is you're going to let this painting completely dry, like weeks. And then you're going to take a little bit of quinacridone red. You're writing this down, Darlene?
I am.
Quinacridone red, and you're gonna wipe it on the whole surface, and then you're gonna wipe it away, and this painting's gonna be beautiful. You're just gonna tint it and glaze it.
Doesn't she need to do a little sanding? And if so, what grade sandpaper?
No, she doesn't. No, you don't need to sand it.
What happened with that one cloud you see in your reference, and I think that might be one of your references. In the center of it is very, very bright. And I didn't know how to get that brightness in there that you see. It's very little of it, but it stands out. So I didn't know how to do that. The other thing is when I make a print on my printer, anything dark turns out just black. So I don't know exactly what to do to add interest to those dark places in those dark shapes, other than have it look black. I don't know how to come back and do something with that.
There's 2 ways. You could make it up, which I do all the time. I just like, oh, you know what? There's a bush over here. There's, a bank of grass, whatever. The other thing is is before you print it, just make it lighter. And you'll start to realize that my printer prints like 2 to 3 values darker.
For more than a century.
And that's what I do when I'm getting ready to send an image to my printer. I just print it lighter. I just make the image lighter.
Oh, I wonder how you do that.
We'll show you.
In your copy machine too, right? Wouldn't it give you a slider kind of option where you can slide the brightness and the darkness? It's
My old printer did. My new printer is so cheap.
I think mine does.
Yeah,
That
it
it
sometimes
doesn't.
has a draft. It says draft, and that's usually less ink.
Okay, let me just,
Oh.
what I'm gonna do is pull up, because
And I mentioned
Cheryl-
about the sandpaper because I thought you had said you had clumping of that ground that you put on.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
it's terrible. It is
I'm
very
sorry, yes,
hard,
then
yeah.
definitely you can sand it down, but if she sands the painting at this point, it's gonna go back to that clumped up under white painting. And so she should have sanded it before she painted it.
Oh, resand.
If you go back
okay.
and sand it now, you're gonna look like you have
Yeah, can't do that.
Take
blow
your
bugs
paint
all
off.
over your painting. Yeah, it's gonna go back to the white. So okay, so Cheryl asked, and we're gonna go back and forth for a second here. But Cheryl was saying that this image, which is a painting or photo I took in Italy, Luca is right down here. So we're up in Tuscany in the hills, and Cheryl was saying that this image is too dark in the foreground. Correct, Cheryl?
Yes.
But the image, when I see it right now, is not too dark. Like I can see plenty of lights and darks and mids. But let's just pretend, Darlene and Cheryl, I want to paint not from my computer monitor, but I want to print from my printer. This is the free software. So I just go up to edit. Whenever I open an image on my computer, this is how it looks. Go to edit, and there's lots of free software out there. I'm going to go to adjust, and I can just either go to exposure, which is going to bleach out my sky, right? But also lighten up this. I can lower my contrast. I can lighten my, but what I want to do, because I'm sure Cheryl's pretty happy with the sky colors, it's just this area, correct? So what I do is I go to my shadows and I just lighten those up.
Okay.
You notice how the sky changes a little bit, but not much.
Well, so you just have 2 pictures.
I print, when I paint, there's times where I have like 5 different pictures. You know, I've got my monitors open, I've got my references. I mean, you saw today I was painting from 2 different photos, not even the same time of day. One was the night and one was the morning, right? Because I knew I was missing a lot of information. I was in the dark forest when I got there for the sunset, but I wanted to see the path, right? So yeah, these free editing software, and again, I don't even have to print this whole thing. I could just, you know, crop it and just print this portion of it for that information. And then I can re-edit it in the sky for that information.
Is this an Apple-friendly application? What is it?
This is not, but Apple's free stuff is even better. Like on my iPhone, I can do all of this right on my photo app. Right, I can just do all these adjustments.
Okay.
Yeah, I am constantly painting from multiple images. So what happens, unfortunately, is that when you take a photo, and I was telling the camera, or I was excited by this portion, right, the sky. When I take that, it's going to make, you know, to get the colors in that, otherwise it'll get all bleached out, right? Like it did here. Like that white's not really there. It'll bleach out if you focus on the sunlight, but it'll also make your foreground really dark. So a lot of times when I'm taking a photo, if it's of a sunset, touch your camera, touch your phone into the sky. And the foreground, the landforms will go to black. They'll just get turn to darkness, but you'll get the information in your sky. Then take a picture and touch into the mid value area. Right? You see where I'm aiming?
Yeah.
Touch that and it'll get everything, but nothing is going to be exciting. Okay, take that photo, then touch into your shadows. And all of a sudden you're going to get wonderful detail in your shadow area, but the sky is going to be a bleached out white mess. Okay. Then I paint basically, or I'll have them all available on my computer monitor or whatever else. But there's nothing wrong with printing out 3 pictures, you know, to paint from. And yeah, that's what I do, or I make it up.
Mm.
Did that make sense?
It
So
does.
let's look really quickly. Here's the first photo I took at sunset, right? And you can see how dark it is. It's literally a silhouette. It's a no tan, basically, right? I can try editing it. If the sky is bleached out, like if I got the info here, let's just go back and do it. So let's get one that has, none of these are bleached out. I only shared the better photos. But yeah, I take multiple photos looking at different areas because you can see how you can see the information here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
There's no rule that you have to paint from one photo reference. You see how different they are? I can also try to edit it. So if the sky, let's just say that I took it and I pushed my finger literally on the phone before I take the photo, I will touch the shadow area, right? And all of a sudden the sky bleaches out because I'm just telling the phone, I don't care about the sky or the lights. I care about the shadows, right? And the sky will be bleached out. So here's the important thing to know. If something is bleached out, that information is gone. There's no bringing that back. But if it's all shadowy like this, I have a chance of finding some of the forms within the shadows.
Oh.
Do you see how all of a sudden I can see these edges that I couldn't see before hardly at all?
Right.
So an overly dark painting, if you only can take one photo, is better than a bleached out photo.
It also depends on the format that you save it in. So if you have something like Photoshop and you save it in the native PSD format, then you don't lose a lot of information. But if you save it as a JPEG, then you do lose a lot and you can't get it back.
Oh.
Perfect. And the last version of the iPhone and the new one that I think came out yesterday has on the Pro model, which I have, has a what's it called? Anyways, a super high resolution. Like a normal photo is 3 to 5 megs. Mine can take up to 40 megs. So it gathers all this information and it's there for me to find it. It's called RAW, RAW, raw format. But it will fill your phone up real fast because all your photos are 10 times bigger than they should be. But when I'm taking photos of my paintings that I'm going to make prints from, where they need to make a big 30-inch by 40-inch print, I will shoot it in a raw format because there's so much information there.
But don't you find that their new system makes the contrast too strong, the darks too dark? I'm finding that all the newer iPhoto stuff that's in the phone, rather.
Yes, yeah, and that's why I'm constantly, especially if it's like, let's just pretend I'm taking a photo of a painting that I think maybe I want to sell prints of, is before I get rid of the painting, before I take it to the gallery, I take that super high resolution photo and then I'm adjusting it to get it closer to my painting.
That's a whole nother topic that I would love to talk to you about someday. Looking at things on the digital media versus, and how to figure it out.
Right. I mean, and it's such a conundrum because I mean, our screens all look different, everything, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, so much stuff.
Also, you gotta be
Anyways,
careful with modern phones because they're starting the AI stuff. They're starting to adjust your pictures without you. They will actually change the picture to make it look more like what's in their AI zone. So my Samsung likes to do that. So if I want a real picture, most times it's not there, but be careful about it because your modern phones are starting to go away from trying to record something and try to make it into something else.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's yeah, it is funny, and it makes me sad when I take a photo and I'm like, oh, I wish my painting looked like that. Darn you, AI. But yeah, it is. It's such a crazy thing. So it is getting trickier and trickier. And again, I will oftentimes, I mean, I pay up to $75 for a single photo of my paintings when I know I want big, prints made of it and stuff. And
Is that a photo or scan you're getting?
they're photos. Yeah.
Okay, because I've had some scanned for about the same amount of money.
Yeah, scans would be great too. We don't have a big scanning bed. There's one about an hour away that I could use and pay them. But I think they're even twice as expensive as that. All right. Is Eloise still awake?
Just, yes.
This was such a fun, crazy thing you're doing here.
Wow.
Thank you. I have been working on it a little bit since waking up. So I've actually added, I'll just hold it up to like my.
Oops, hold on a second. Let me remove spotlight and spotlight you.
So I'm kind of obsessed with unusually shaped canvases. I really like painting on canvas because I like how the paint can spread and kind of separate and get that texture, especially for things like this. But I've made this beam a little bit stronger, just been working on like the actual shape of these raindrops. You probably can't see just because of just because it's.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Eloise, I think you may need to explain what it is, what we're looking at.
Oh, so this is a photo that I took of driving. So I wasn't driving, Riley was driving, but it was raining and it was just beautiful. And I just kept thinking about a few things that were said last week, and in particular, the idea.
I thought your photo was on here. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So the idea of leaving something out. So
isn't that so cool?
It is cool.
Yeah, and I thought, you know what? If I'm going to leave something out, I may as well leave out any sort of form or shape. Like, I just thought, I'm just going to paint light and see how it goes and see if it kind of crystallizes into something. And yeah, I think that it was a really good exercise in like value, obviously, but holding back from overly refining and rendering something and just sort of practicing those little pinpoint, almost like calligraphy, every single little dot, every little structure, it's its own thing. And I'm not going to say that it was easy. And I am obsessed with it. Like, it's all I've been working on for the whole week pretty much. And I just can't get it out of my head. So,
yeah, it looks crazy making, but it's beautiful and it's so strange. It looks like an album cover.
Oh yeah.
Or like some kind of like alternative jazz punk group or something. Can I ask, what is this? What is this big? Is that a mountain?
Do you know how many people have said that? Because I've actually been using it in the studio, like teaching and being like, what do you think this is? Let's work on our interpretive artistic side and not the technique this week. So what I think it is, it's the trail left by the windscreen wipers, but then the glass being kind of not foggy, but you know, it was cold. So I think that it's the reflection of the dashboard.
Oh,
That would
But-
make
I was hoping it was Ayers Rock somehow.
Gosh, that would have been a long drive.
Yeah.
Side view
And not a
mirror?
lot of rain out there. Sorry, Michelle, what were you saying?
Oh, I think to me it looks like the angle might be the side view mirror reflecting.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
honestly, it's really hard to know. So instead, I just like that there are these dark, like almost red things carved out of the middle of it all. And then the spread of all of those little speckled lights and everything. It's all just these really contrasting shapes and little flares and things. And it's not my typical style at all. So I thought, I'm just going to do the homework on hard mode. I'm just doing it because it would be the ultimate challenge for someone like me that is like a photocopier. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I mean, it looks like a galaxy. It looks like, you know, so many things. And I mean, if you hadn't seen, you guys call them lorries?
Oh, yeah, a ute.
A ute, yeah. Yeah, you know, if you didn't have like that, then maybe this begins to look like a shop back here.
Yeah, but the colors are just crazy, aren't they? Like they are not
Yeah.
typical. And I only edited it very slightly because I do sometimes play with like the warmth in things, and like I deepen the shadows and things. And I didn't really do that too much. So all of those pinks and purples, like they just were like that. I don't even know what they were. But getting
Nor do we
those-
care.
Yeah,
An
yeah.
abstract.
Yeah.
It's very abstract. Yeah, yeah. Tons of fun. I really respect you for, I wouldn't paint that, and that's because I'm a coward. And you know, nothing besides that. Like I would love that photo. Like I would have probably taken the photo and then showed my wife, look at this. This is so cool. I should paint
Yeah.
this, but I never will.
Yeah. My original plan, because I kept thinking about that idea of leave something out or leave something unsaid, unfinished. And we have an apartment building being built right next to us at the moment. And I was going through all my photos. We had this incredible view, like panoramic. You couldn't see anybody else. And now it's just construction. And for 12 hours a day, because I work from home sometimes, we just hear like the most horrible industrial noise. So I have the last photo of the sun setting that I ever took from this apartment with that view. And there's this big beam of like a crane right in the middle of the sun. So I thought, oh, that's a very poetic statement for me. But then, yeah, me and Riley went for this furious drive. Like we'd had just lots of stuff go down that day. And we went for this really angry drive. And I just felt like all of the light was just explosions of exactly how I felt and what I wanted to say. So, so there we go.
It's
No,
beautiful.
that's so cool. And
Acrylic, yes? Acrylic?
Yeah. Acrylic,
yeah,
I mean,
and my
fast
hat's off to
drawing.
you. My hat's off to you for just taking this on. So I mean, I want to welcome any and all of you, not to take this photo, but you know, something that's beyond like, yeah, this is really neat. Like I think I'm being really daring when I paint a mud puddle reflection of, you know, something. But this goes above and beyond, and it's really neat. So I mean, way to set the bar as far as yeah. But really neat, and I'm so proud of you. So thank you.
Oh my goodness. Even Riley, I don't know if you heard him, but he heard that and just went, oh.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
thanks,
Riley's
guys.
awesome. Riley's the one that signed you up for my class last year, so that's great.
Yes.
Tell
Yeah.
Riley hi and thank you. We love having you in class.
Oh.
All right, I'm jumping. I don't want to say to the opposite side of the spectrum, but
Yeah,
Oh.
the opposite side of the
beautiful
that's
and control and
beautiful.
very few lights exploding. So,
Oh,
yeah. So for you new students, Gail is I would say a kindred spirit to me in that we love tonalism, but Gail approaches it so differently. And Gail's taken how much we've painted for what, 2 years together now?
Yeah, I think this is a third year.
And what I really love is that Gail took a lot of my ideas and then completely bastardized, changed them to completely made them her own and just found her own way of working. Now Gail's showing in a gallery and doing big work and all these things. And that's, again, really goes back and makes me feel so good, is that Gail's taking some of the things I'm teaching, making them her own. Now I'm learning from Gail as well, as we all are. And I just love that. And yeah, so if you get a chance, we actually deleted, unfortunately, to make space, a bunch of Gail's paintings. But it is for those of you who are joining me in this class, to learn about tonalism, luminism, illuminated tones. Gail is a great example, and there's a couple other students as well that have taken some of the lessons and really made them their own. And I really like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what you got going on here.
Well, this is, I think I wrote down at the bottom that you're, well, in line with the assignment, you're more mystical and poetic, and I think mine is more curiosity and adventure. And what's around that corner? What's actually hiding in those weeds? So that was the question. And when I first started painting with Michael and started experimenting with my own style, and there's a couple paintings below this that I think I ended the last class with, that was a path in the woods.
Oh,
And
that's gorgeous.
And I've got a neighbor that looked at my paintings and he goes, oh, it makes me feel like I want to jump in my kayak or put on my hiking boots and go on what's around that corner, what's on the other side of that lake. So that's really what I've kind of held on to. So I'm looking more for curiosity and adventure, what's on the other side. And obviously the painting above this is much higher key than this one. And I
do you mind explaining what that means for the new student?
This one is very dark. If you look at the values, or you have a value scale and it goes from 1 to 10, this would be 5 to 10. The one above it is more middle ground. So this has got much darker values and a tighter dark value. So you can see that it's very dark on either side and light in the middle. It's more of a Noltan painting.
So even if you think this area is light, when you compare it to the white over here, which is how light Gail could have gone, it's still
Very
actually
dark.
quite dark.
Yeah, it's like a 3.
Do you use a reference, or is this from your brain? Because
it's a reference. It's North Carolina and some of the Smoky Mountain area.
Beautiful.
And that's where the gallery is. So that's what I was trying to do. The painting above is I live
Gail is putting the Smoky and Smoky Mountains in this one.
I live on the Mississippi River, and this is actually an island that is just down the street from me, and I painted a lot. And I've painted several paintings from this general area in Michael's class, because the sunset sets right behind that middle tree. But so this is a higher key, and you can tell that just by looking at the one below, comparing it to this one. And I use a controlled palette. So like we talked about before, certain yellows, and I changed the blues out. So this is manganese blue that I used instead of Payne's gray, which is what I use in the bottom one, because of this is a higher key painting, or a lighter painting, higher value.
Do you find the
There's no Indian yellow in this either, and there's a lot of Indian yellow in the one below. So this is Hansa yellow.
Do you find the manganese gets along well with reds, or because it sort of has a lot of yellow in it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I love it. It's a great color.
And I use ultramarine blue in both cases, and ultramarine blue with manganese, and then magenta makes a phenomenal purple. And I paint with a lot of purple, so you'll see a lot of purple in there.
Which you don't even think about when you look at this painting, but literally everybody look away for 1 second, look away from the screen, and now think purple, say purple to yourself in your head. Now look back.
Yeah.
There's purple everywhere.
Everywhere. I love purple and yellow, and that we talked about that earlier. They're complements. So wherever the highlights are, where the focal point is, the yellow kind of in the center, the middle ground, there's purple all around it to make the yellow jump.
I really love how it gives that misty kind of depth. And I don't remember who said it, but there's an artist who says when you look at nature, everything is a lot closer to gray than you realize. And I think that purple really helps to bring that in instead of it seeming like cartoonish, I guess, like colors. I think if you do a landscape a little too colorfully, it can give that very illustrative and imagination-y kind of.
And if Gail put, let me see. No, I don't want to do it. I was going to take a long time. But what I was thinking of doing is taking this picture, grabbing it, putting it into Photoshop, and then putting a literal bright purple beside it, and it would look like chaos. But because Gail is mixing the purple and the yellow together, they harmonize and neutralize. That's one of the most important things. When you mix across the color wheel, they neutralize each other. They create a harmony. But then look at the purple's much stronger over here, but the purple's still in all of it.
Yep.
I'm just
Is that what you
waiting.
meant, Eloise, as well?
And I did not put up the reference photo. I can, because I know that's another thing that we talked about. In the bottom foreground on the right, there were grasses all over the place, all across the bottom. There were grasses sticking up everywhere. And it fought too much with the background. It became dominant. And I couldn't, when we talk about how you walk through a painting, I couldn't get past those grasses. So I eliminated a lot of the grasses and just suggested that there were grasses there.
The curiosity this has aroused in me is I'm waiting for Huckleberry Finn to come around the corner on his
raft.
On his raft.
I was almost going to say something, and I'm like, is that almost the only thing I know about Mississippi River? Yeah, awesome. Beautiful piece. And yeah, the harmony. And yeah, we're going to be talking about some of that in the colors. In the classes coming up where we're dealing with color, is how do you neutralize? But I mean, this is just a stellar example of yellow and purple, and it could be green and red, right? It could be any contrasting colors, but once you let them blend and touch and neutralize each other, it's really a great harmony. Great job.
Thank you.
Gail?
Yes.
Would you say the colors you use for the purple, ultramarine, and what?
I used ultramarine blue and magenta. I was using quinacridone magenta, but I can't get it in water mixable anymore. I can only get magenta. I can get quinacridone red, but I really like the magenta. Unless I've got something that's, really like a sunset that needs red in it, I use magenta.
Okay, thank you so much.
And I don't use black. I mix all my colors together to make a dark.
Yeah.
So everything goes together.
Sure does. Very beautiful. Thank you.
And for me, I love your work. There's always a sense of calm and peace about it. It's amazing. And I think it's kind of like, for me, when I know the backstory of an artist or an author, sometimes that gives me more powerful feeling for their work. And knowing, some of the struggles that you're going through, I'm so impressed. It makes it more powerful for me that you're able to convey such peace and calm
Well,
amidst,
thank
some of the storms.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's my goal. So instead of mystery and poetry, I'm going more for the curiosity and the calm,
Yeah,
the little adventure.
exquisite.
Thank you. And that's on canvas. So the paint's a lot thicker on this one than it is on the one below it.
I think you're muted.
Sorry about that. I pushed my mute button. Anyways, lovely work, Gail. I'm glad you're
Thank you.
continuing on with us, and thanks for helping me teach.
Buddy,
Actually, that goes for all of you guys. We're all teaching and we're all learning together. So appreciate that. All right. So Cheryl, I talked about looking at your references. I don't think we're going to have time. So I'm just going to say, let's pull out some, well, actually, do you guys mind if I start with some photos next week? So what I was going to do with Cheryl, who asked such a good question before the class even started. And that was Cheryl gave me some photos that she loves, and we're going to come right back to you guys. But some photos that are just great, beautiful, wonderful memories, right? But not a good painting.
No.
And I'm glad Cheryl knows that before she even starts. You know what I mean? It's got all these wonderful elements. I'm sure Cheryl had a just delicious glass of wine sitting right there with one of her good
You
friends.
better believe it.
Exactly. And that's just it. It's like, okay, this photo represents so much. It means so much. It was such a great memory. It's a beautiful photo, but why would it not make a great painting? Right. And so Cheryl was super awesome and provided a number of different examples like that. So next week, I'll give you guys an opportunity. We won't be able to go over a bunch of them.
Ooh, that's
so great. It's so almost right. It's so close. Like what do we do? So for next week, part of your homework, and not all of you need to do this. We just need about 3 or 4 good images to look at and just kind of decide, like, what do we do? I see Nyla studying. She's like, oh, what I would do with this painting. Right? There's just these funny little things that are in this that we can change and tweak and move. And so I think that'll be a really fun discussion. So Cheryl, I'm gonna just apologize now and say we're not gonna have time because I can't wait.
Don't worry about it. That's fine.
So next week, part of your homework, if you want, this is total extra, is if you have a photo that you kind of think is a good photo for a painting, but there's something like obviously you're not painting it. I think a really good example is this one that Cheryl provided. Like this one is just like a textbook example of a nice photo that how the heck would you paint that? Like what is
don't
this?
even know where to start.
No, I would so anyways, let's talk about that next week.
Would there be
Thank you. I think I have so many photos and I'm so frustrated because I look at them, I don't know what to do with them. There's something about them I like and I'd like to paint this, but I don't know how to do that. Thank you. That's perfect.
Would there
part of it is the memory you have and how do you
exactly
how do you paint
you
that?
Don't want to lose that part.
The memory and
Well, the problem is I'm not even going to remember saying this next week. So
that's the feeling she had. When she looks at the painting, she's remembering the wine. How do you paint wine into your painting? Maybe you need to drink while you're painting.
It's the quiet, calm, and slow pace that they live there.
I think it's going to be such a fun. It's going to be such a a fun conversation next week. So
Would it be
I'm gonna.
would it be possible to maybe make another category in Padlet and put these on so we could look at them and maybe add just one so we don't
Difficult
completely
photos.
dump out the thing? Yeah, almost made it photos.
All right.
I never have found a photo I want to paint. I always want to paint real stuff.
You're the plein air painter, right?
Yeah. I find just lots
That
of
looks like a
inspiration.
good one.
Because it would be really fun to look at those, and then we probably all have one or two.
I mean, we all do. I mean, and that's why I literally, you saw today where I take 3 to 4 paintings. I even, got there at sunset and then, woke up the next morning to go take pictures when I knew the light would be in the place. You know what I mean? I'm just going to put it here. Almost there photos and
I got a Xana down.
yeah, I think we all have bucket. I mean, probably 99% of my photos are that. All right, so there we go. So Cheryl, all of that was to say why we're not doing it today.
Oh, that's not a problem. I don't care. We could do it on Thursday. It doesn't matter. I just.
No, I think it's such a question that everybody would like to hear that, right?
Yeah.
Am I
Don't
correct?
do it on Thursday. No, not Thursday.
Okay,
You know,
so
and-
add them to that
and-
section. And then if we have a bunch of them, we'll just vote on a couple that we would really like to discuss as a group.
Okay.
I think the other piece that goes with that, and I don't see is color. I mean, I like painting trees, and sometimes they are so green. I mean,
Well, that's all I have here is green.
if I put up the reference photo for the painting I did, it is so green,
And it's all the same green.
and it's all the same green. So what do you do with that?
Yeah.
All
So-
right, well,
I have that same situation where I'll find a beautiful painting, but I'm not a green person and I like green. I just don't like painting green. I get really tired of green. And then so yeah.
yeah, you'll notice I almost never have green in my paintings.
I call green the bane of my existence.
I'll put the reference photo up on mine, and you can see the difference because it
Okay.
is green.
Okay.
All right, well, let's get
I
back
use
to the
purple
good stuff
instead.
here, you guys. All right, Graham.
I love your paintings, Graham.
So do I.
Thank you.
Are amazing.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, I think that Graham's a bit of a cheater.
I think you've got the Grant Wood thing going. I think I've told you that before.
Well, there's a story behind this.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, I started out trying to do one of your famous 2-color wipeaways. I used ultramarine blue and quinacridone red, and I made a glorious mess on that panel. And I started to wipe away to create this particular scene, which is from a photo I took
Sauvie Island?
on the way to Seattle, actually.
Oh, okay.
Up by Kalama in that area. And it was such a mess that it didn't really work out. So what I did was I just said, okay, I'm going to see what I can do to salvage it. And I just went with this, just painted and painted and painted until I got something that appealed to me. And I know it's tight and it's almost graphic, but it's, to me, it's pretty. So I mean, I liked it, so I went with it. And then there are some colors in there that I wanted to recreate that I just couldn't do. And those far back trees, they're almost Anton colors.
Pavlenko.
Yeah, Pavlenko's colors that I just couldn't figure out how to redo them. And the trees that are in the exact middle there in the way back. But anyway, so this was a fun project for me. Even though it's not what I set out to do, it's you know, it was really enjoyable to do. And I don't know what else to say about it. It's just, it's sort of a fantasy to me.
That's how it reads to me. It's a fantasy and it's a surreal quality to it that you feel there is a fantastical story.
But at the same time, totally real. Like, yeah, I feel the same way. Like, it's fantastical and amazing, but at the same time, it's like, yep,
It's kind of got
if
a
you're
Camelot.
lucky, you could see this.
Yeah, it's kind of got a Camelot feel.
Well, what's amazing to me is I could paint this with 2 colors and white. And that was a stunning revelation, actually.
Wait, this can't be 2 colors.
Quinacridone red.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah, you have to have some.
phthalo green, I think, was the other color.
But wait, how did you get this yellow gold color?
Can't tell you.
Okay, so it's not 2.
Maybe there
it's
was
not
a
2
little yellow
colors,
in
but
there.
it's a limited palette. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very limited. If there was another color, then there were no more than 3 colors. Yeah, because it probably had a red, yellow, and blue of some sort.
Okay, so you were talking about, and this is something that definitely differentiates you and me in our work, is my edges are almost always soft and your edges are almost always hard.
Yeah.
And that's what I think you meant by graphic, but I think the graphic quality is what's so wonderful. Like what I love about your work, and what I think you started doing, gosh, I don't know, midway through the last class, is look at these soft edges. And that makes these hard edges
work.
When everything was crisp and tough and well, strong edged, it felt like a poster, like an old, 1980s, 70s poster. But now you're finding your soft edges and you're utilizing, I mean, just look at this light edged pink. And this transition over here is to die for.
And your values are really cool.
Yeah. And the lines in the clouds. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't want you to lose your crisp edge. Maybe I would love a little softer, like where the clouds maybe drape. I mean, but that's just nitpicking. But what I really like is your combination of the two. And like I say, I'm learning from you, I'm learning from Gail, I'm learning from all of you guys. Is like, oh, I should bring in some tight edges, like, especially into the focal area.
Oh, yeah. It does lend a certain type of contrast, soft and hard.
Right. Like maybe I would have softened this edge, maybe I would soften this edge. But again, that's personal preference. That's not a good, bad, or the other. It's just how I might think of it. But I think it's lovely. The colors, your harmony.
Beautiful.
Even with this, I wouldn't think like an acidy yellow green would play well with purples and pinks, but it really does.
But it does, yeah.
And for me, I feel like what Gail was saying.
We lost you, Lisa. Oh, there you are.
Oh, sorry. It's kind of like what Gail was saying about curiosity. For me, if I can look at a painting and, 2 or 3 seconds go, yeah, that's really cool. And then move on. This is not one of those. This one, I want to keep going back into the clouds and I keep wanting to see, well, what's inside or behind those trees, or, so I really, really enjoy this painting. I really do.
That little hint of structures.
Yeah, those are.
They look so nice.
I think it's the edge control that makes it seem fantasy, because those soft, realistically quality but strange cloud, when you put in front those graphically done sort of harder edge trees, which are not realistic, your brain goes, it's real, but it's not real.
Yeah, it's a Camelot.
Camelot, there you go.
I think we've created a new term, Gail. I love that. Yeah, if for you new students, please spend a little bit of time and go back and look at some of Graham's paintings as well as everybody else's, just to get an idea of kind of what they're doing, where they're coming from. Graham and Regini are the two colorists in this class for sure. Linda Camarada every once in a while really pumps up the colors. But it's a lot of fun that we have all these different styles, ideas, thought processes. Yeah, crazy. Beautiful work, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Jada. Hopefully Jada's still here.
I'm here. I'm here.
Yay, all right.
Oh, wait a second. Sorry, I'm constantly getting texts and messages and stuff. So sorry about that. That's why I turn everything off.
I think it might be lifting. Oh, lovely. I love your presentation too.
I tend to yak too much, and so I figure this way I'll just show you. And it really, so sorry I didn't see your pictures before I started, because I probably would have realized immediately that the value issue was very important. If I wanted to create that kind of drama, I was looking for the drama of the little bit of light coming off the left, that little sliver. And I was interested in having a green sky. So I was trying to make the sky greenish. But I didn't register this. It looks darker on my screen. See, that's, as we said earlier, the video, you know, what you're seeing on your screens may or may not. It's very pale in real life. The painting on the lower left there, and it's too pale, so that there's really no contrast. And then I thought, well, it's also not I'm trying colorful. I'm not a colorist at all, as probably can be seen on the right. But I wanted to just see what it would feel like. I wanted to see if I could, you know, do a high drama color thing. And I thought I'll try to go for cool, brilliant, you know, colors, vivid color. And yeah.
I have a good friend of mine named Don Bishop who paints paintings, what he calls his jewel tone paintings. And they're just like, the colors are not realistic, but they're just beautiful. And he knows what he's doing. He does it purposely. And there is a gorgeous harmony within the colors. Landscape painting wise, yeah, I don't quite understand what's going on, but it's beautiful color combinations. Like as patterning on a dress, or you know what I mean? Like these are great colors. I think that if this, because this shows up really well. I think if it's bleached out or too light, you just go back and add darks. There's nothing wrong with, there's no rule that says we can't get back to our paintings.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I said in my notes, I'm also working with, I'm testing out lots of stuff. So water soluble on that surface were not easy for me to move around. They weren't like regular oils with solvent. With a little Gamsol, I knew what I could do, but you know, I'm trying to learn this one. So we'll see.
Absolutely. How dare you not be perfect the first week? Come on, Jada.
No,
these are fun, and I love the fact
that to be perfect at all.
Yeah, no, and they're both fun. I think we could. I mean, I look at this and I see a lot of inspiration and bravery. I think about, you know, Eloise's painting, and just like, yeah, who would think to make the highlight the coldest color? Right? That's really an interesting thought process, but it kind of works. It's kind of successful. I look at it and I'd be like, oh, I'd bring some of these pinks down into the bush, you know, variations of those colors down into here. I would lighten this area, but it's beautiful in its own way. This one's, I think, is quite successful. I think this transition, I love the little bits of green, you know, the bright green here is a little distracting, but you know, I know they're sketches. Yeah, I think this is a lot of fun. Yeah, and both of these paintings that you picked as my references were probably 30-minute paintings, both of them, like just quick ideas, thoughts, and sketches, both sold immediately. And that's how it works sometimes is, you know, I'm going to tell you guys a secret though, is I can barely look at this painting. And this painting actually won in the plein air competition, the best sky.
It's great.
Oh, it is.
But
great.
I'm going to show you guys something, and it's going to ruin it forever for you guys. You see this? You see this guy?
A
The little
fish.
No, it is a fish, but how I see it is
Yeah.
a drunk rabbit face down.
It could be an alligator too.
Yeah.
But
I
wanted-
can't not see it. I think one of my friends pointed it out. It's like, it looks like a bunny rabbit, a stuffed bunny rabbit just passed out. I'm like, oh yeah.
So do these look roughly around the value on your screen? Do they look the value of the real paintings? And what did you use to do your grays? Those dark grays? What kind
Graham can tell you because we did a whole class on this, just he and I. It's phthalo green and quinacridone red.
Beautiful.
And
Both of
together
them?
they create a perfect neutral. And so if you've ever heard of the color
And white
chromatic-
or no white? You just used it.
Oh
to-
yeah, lots of white.
Lots of white.
Yeah, lots
okay.
of white. So chromatic black is actually phthalo green and
Green red.
and quin red, yeah. And so I just did a variation of it going up. And
Oh, wait, Quin red or Quin magenta? Quin red.
I use quin red. Quin red is brighter and warmer, but it cools way down when you add a phthalo green to it. Yeah, I kind of wonder why I don't just use this palette all the time, because yeah, some of my biggest awards and things have been based on this color palette.
Well, the drama is just wonderful.
Well, this one has Indian yellow, so I let it dry. Then I used Indian yellow, and this was a vibrant pink plus Indian yellow and white. So I let this one dry and then just came across it with a little tiny brush. And this one was a wipe away.
Oh, so
to make
wait,
this-
the drunken rabbit was painted on top of the gray or was?
Yeah, yep.
And how do you
Yeah,
make
so you
that
can
kind of-
imagine this painting without the yellow and without the orange, and that's how it looked for a while. And then I just, didn't love it, and then just came across it and threw those colors on top, and
And boom, you got an award winner.
got an award winner.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, so you didn't lift the light on the right one? You didn't lift
Nope,
it?
nope, that's on top.
Oh,
Wow.
Michael,
Yeah,
the phthalo green that you talk about, doesn't that come in a blue shade and a yellow shade or something?
I'd probably.
the blue
Yeah,
shade
but I
is
never
the,
know which one to get.
the blue shade.
I don't know either. I've just got phthalo green because the same tube I've had for like 15 years, because
All right.
it's literally like I should keep it in a box with a toxic symbol on it, and I barely open it. I squeeze out a little bit and put it back in the box and put my big gloves on. It's such a toxic, crazy color that I barely
The
use
blue,
it.
the blue shade was the
The
traditional,
blue shade.
the original one. Yeah, they just added that other one later.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and again, if you look at it, it looks vibrant, but it's really a lot of grays, and it looks like what you did here too. I mean, it's a lot of grays.
Yeah, I love that sky. The bottom.
Yeah, here, yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful it is.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's
sky-
really wonderful.
Sky wasn't too bad, but the rest, I mean, like all that red in the ground really was, it just bothers me, just like the colors on the right bother me. Those are just not I'm more of a realist basically, so these are not realistic.
Yeah, but it's easy to come back and
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
darken that. Put phthalo blue wash over the top. We had a student who's not in this class before who painted a bunch of paintings, and I just told her to glaze phthalo blue and then wipe it away and like the tops. And all of a sudden her paintings were just magical because she was painting all the shadows like you did. Like this should be a dark, cool shadow. It's coming away from the sun.
Yeah.
Just put a phthalo blue wash and then wipe away the top once it's dry. You'll be amazed. I would
Well,
take and
the
bring
problem
this
with the-
purple into here, because if these are white bushes or light colored bushes, they're going to be reflecting these purples. And I think right now you have a top painting and a bottom painting,
Yeah.
and the two do not connect. Here is almost the same thing. You have a top or a bottom painting and a top painting, but besides the water, like the grass, this area does not relate to this area.
No. Yeah.
So Michael, when you say wipe away the top, you mean like the top layer or near the top?
Yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah.
painting,
Just
or-
reveal some of those warms again.
Okay, thanks.
So I would just put a thin glaze of ultramarine blue over this, and then I would just, where I want, where the light's coming across and hitting the tops of the grasses, just take a Q-tip or a paper towel and reveal that, and you'll get these warm, beautiful edges.
This is where I have trouble with the water soluble because it takes so long. Everybody complains about how slow regular oils are, but to me they were never, because somehow when I would paint with solvent, that first day it was already dry by evening, dry enough that I could go back in and.
Right. Yeah.
And I can't do that with this water soluble stuff. It just sits there saying, "I'm still wet."
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is Gail still here? Gail, how do
Yeah,
you
I don't have that
speed up
problem.
drying time?
Yeah, I don't use water. And that's,
Yeah,
that's,
I think I'm gonna have to start using, see, I'm not used to using any mediums ever. I never used linseed oil, but I think I'm gonna try the linseed oil.
Well,
You said
the
it.
other one that you might like, if you're gonna, is a glazing medium.
Yeah.
And I use a lot of transparent paint and glazing medium.
In the beginning, you mean, when you're first painting it, you use a glazing.
And when I finish, like he's talking about. doing
Yeah,
a
yeah,
wash
but
with
you can't go
I-
over it until it's dry enough for you to be able.
Right, right, but I would use a glaze with that ultramarine that he's talking about,
Yeah, it's a good idea.
because
Thank you.
everything will show through it. It's like painting with stained glass.
Yeah,
Stained
yeah.
glass windows. Mhm.
All right, we got to keep moving.
you.
We're already 40 minutes past. Man,
We're having a
All
good
right.
time.
no lunch for you guys today. All right. So typically, or as you can see, this can take forever. This could take the whole 3 hours. And normal OSA classes are 2 hours. I already added a third hour because I can't shut up and I love my voice. And but here we are, a half hour longer than that.
But that's how we learn. That's how I learn.
So yeah, totally. But yes. So anyways, in the future, we won't be able to go over everybody's photos and paintings, just like we didn't get to introduce each other. So but I would like to keep going if you guys are okay to keep hanging out for a little bit.
I'm fine.
Linda, this photo is ridiculous. It's so cool.
Well, it's about 6:10 in the morning, and there's dust and there's sprinkles of rain. So there you go. And I used that reference mostly, but I had another one. I mean, and the wind was moving the whole cloud of dust that was catching the sunlight. So that's what I painted. And it looked more like the second painting, the second photograph than the first one. And you said we had to ask a question. Well, my question was, where's Newman? And Newman is the mountain.
Oh, good. I love
mountain
that.
Oh,
I thought it was a Seinfeld thing.
Yeah.
I thought Seinfeld as well.
No,
Yes.
no, nothing to do about it. There's a 7,000 foot, 7,500 foot mountain that I can see, like it's right there at me, and I can't see it out there. He's under the dust. And the dust was coming toward me, and I had to quickly get back inside because the dust was just coming over me.
Okay.
And the ground looked really red. The ground looked red in the other photograph that I used. It looks darker there, but the sun hit the way it was hitting the dirt. It was just almost like quinacridone red.
Wow.
It was so red.
I love the reference, and I love the fact that this is like one of those photos I would take and be like, am I even capable? Like, there's so much going on. There's so many light conditions, weather conditions. Beautiful. Love the name. Newman.
And Newman
And
was an old man that,
my biggest advice would be is that your ground is way too light.
okay, I can darken it.
Yeah, that literally that will change everything because see
Yeah.
how up here,
Yeah,
this is special because this is dark.
darker, yeah.
And now they're really fighting. I almost feel like this area is the focal
They're the
point.
same value.
Yeah.
Well.
And I think just again that glaze, I mean, you could literally do a phthalo blue glaze.
Yeah.
What I also think is making this special is you do have a
More
bit of
glare.
contrasting temperature.
Right. And it was purple. It was just a dark purple.
Yeah, but I think that cool blue,
Yeah. I can do that.
you have it on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would like to see, yeah, if you don't mind, darken this,
Okay.
create a bit of a transition. See how this goes from dark to light, not dark light,
Right.
dark light. We want to transition there because we want to know where that light's hitting. Right now, this almost feels facelit, like the sun is behind us
Mm-hmm. It was
versus
to the right.
versus to the right. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. A couple small transitions.
Okay.
And I think this, and yeah, I just think that
Do you
is,
think the poo blue on the left-hand side?
I like it.
Or,
What do you guys think? What I think you're missing is see your highlights.
yeah,
What happened to them is yours became cool. These are still warm.
yeah.
See, yours went white.
And I used Indian yellow.
I
And
know,
white.
isn't it funny how it just disappears once you add blues and purples against it? It
Yeah.
neutralizes it. So yeah, you could glaze in a touch of Indian yellow there, glaze in ultramarine blue down here, glaze in ultramarine on the backside, but be careful because it's going to go to green. So you're going to have to add a bit of quinacridone red or some kind of a reddish and
Right.
let it warm up on this side. Let us know where the light source is. Because right now,
Okay.
if we only saw this, let's see if anybody disagrees with me, but I would think that the light is behind me. I mean, I see this
Yeah.
long shadow, but this doesn't speak to the light coming from a direction.
Yeah, I can put the highlight, well, the streak of, after I darken it, I'll let it dry and then I'll put a little ray of light from the right.
Yeah, but be careful. I think,
No?
I think that's an overused tool in your arsenal.
Okay.
I think that the ray of light can be a beautiful, wonderful thing, but I think it's also obvious answer.
Okay.
That ray of light that's on your photo.
Mm.
No, it was shining through clouds. It was
Right.
really
But
streaking through
the ray
clouds.
of light that we see in this photo
Yeah.
is only because your lens is a little
Okay.
bit dirty.
Oh, good grief.
That's fine. That happens all the time. I mean,
It's not an
but
angel.
that's not like if you
It's
know
not
if
an
you look at
angel,
the camera,
baby.
you get this ray of light.
It's
But when you
not
look-
distracting, it's just not quite real.
No, it's not quite
Well,
real. Yeah.
but you see that whole area on the right is like more golden looking, more like
Yeah.
it was an amazing morning.
Absolutely.
So
No, I
value
love
wise,
so much.
I have a
This is so
question.
great.
The bottom of the cloud, the dust rather, on the left is very pale. Is that paler value wise than the distant blue sky on the right?
No.
Who's
You know
paler?
what I do is I turn it into a black and white.
Yeah, then you can tell.
And see, there's a speck of blue on the right.
Look, they're
on the left
equal.
also.
Oh, no, it looks a little brighter on the right.
A
I see.
little bit brighter, but
Little
yeah, but this is what messes us up is we see cool colors and warm colors and we see them as different values. but oftentimes they're not. That's just a temperature shift.
Mhm.
We have this, and I learned this in a big way. Like, anyways, tell that story later. But just realizing that color in our brain equals value a lot of times, but it's not true.
Okay.
We can have, imagine this could be cool purple and this could be warm red, and they can be the same value, just different colors.
But it does look a little lighter on the right.
It is a touch.
And that's a
It is a
value.
touch, but if we go back to simplifying it to 3 values, squint your eyes at it.
Yeah, it's close.
How would you paint this in 3 values, right? You got your darks, you got your mids, and then you got your lights. And this would become a light probably, or a mid, right?
That's
So
a mid.
just think about, don't make me read that John Senior Sargent quote again. Right?
Yeah.
Let the colors run riot, but limit the number of values.
Okay.
Just realized I'm going to take my painting and do black and white on it. I just realized. Good trick.
Yes, yes, always. I mean, I almost always paint with a black and white beside me. All right. Hate to say it to the rest of my students, but this is the painting I've been wanting to talk about all day.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, beautiful. My God.
Who's that?
I
This is
hate it.
amazing. I love it, Linda. I love it.
I love what
just
you do with the
joking.
sky.
And look at that tree. It's taking a walk. Oh my God. So beautiful.
Yeah, there's something special here. That's so crazy. And again, for students that have been with us for a little while, this is nobody
departure.
would ever guess that this was Linda Morgan O'Connor's painting.
Yep, a departure. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Microdosing is working.
Yeah.
For yeah, so tell us about this. Like, what happened? Like, why did you even think to do this?
Well, I was trying to think of a good question. And that book title just popped into my mind, basically. And but I didn't, like I said, when I described it, I didn't want to put in actual sheep and I didn't want to put in actual androids. So I just wanted to have something that might possibly suggest a dystopian world. And I thought, and I'm sure I know overthought it, of course. I just said, well, if I were an android, I'd see in a more electric, broken up. And so I started to run with broken color idea. It gave me, it was a good question to start with because it gave me a lot of creative ideas. That's basically it. So it kind of led me toward weird colors. It led me toward some sort of a representation of electricity and this world, this way of seeing that would be broken up. And that's what I came up with. But I wanted to do a landscape. And I wanted to fulfill my final thing that I hadn't done all summer, which was to do a pastel. I was on my to-do list because I hadn't done
Know what this is a pastel?
It's a pastel. I hadn't done a pastel in about,
I would not have even guessed
5
that.
years.
Either.
Now I
Really?
can see it.
Yeah,
like,
now you can
in
see it, right? Yeah. No, yeah. It's stuff, yeah. So, and I had so many struggles with that because I hadn't done one in a while, and I am a person who loves to paint with lots of layers. And when you're working in pastel, There's a limit to that. I mean, I did an underpainting, that pastel underpainting technique where you put down some initial colors and then you take alcohol and you brush it out and it makes an underpainting, and then you go over it with your pastels. Well, there's still a limit to how much pastel you can put on before it just starts to fall off.
Mm.
And that's my struggle with pastel forever, because I like to work with lots of layers. And I don't have all the pastel colors in the world because I'm not really a pastelist. So I had to layer to get colors, and then I was running into a limit. So anyway, those were the struggles with my painting, was just the medium. But that's why I do these things every so often to remind myself why I don't do pastels.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah. So anyway, it was still fun. And
What's fascinating is this cacophony of color absolutely works together. And your patterning is absolutely fascinating. The shape language is just wonderful.
Thank you.
That's my opinion.
Thank you.
No, it literally breaks all my rules, all the things it doesn't hold it. Yeah, you messed everything up.
Yeah, it was on purpose. So.
I know. And it's lovely. I mean, I absolutely, when you posted, I was like, oh my gosh, especially because it was you.
Yeah.
But like all this broken clouds, like I'm always a big proponent of, if you have busy clouds, try to figure out how to link them, try to make them, unify and find, harmony. Same goes here. The only harmony you have is in this area in the browns, but this totally works and is an electric thing that's alive. That's what that's what I really, really love about art, is anything I believe I'll be proved wrong immediately. And yeah, I would never paint this ever.
Well, I wouldn't normally either, but thank you for the question, because it made me do something different. And I learned some stuff here. I really did. I learned, like and I kind of, I do know it, that you can with broken color, wow, you can come up with some amazing colors.
Yeah, I want to do an experiment.
Uh-oh.
But I think what's holding it together is, watch what happens. Let's just see. My thesis is, once I turn this into black and white, it's going to be harmonious.
It's going to be disappearing.
Value-wise, yeah, exactly. It's going to be like Monet's paintings. Have you ever seen a Monet painting turn into black and white, and all of a sudden it's just a couple big shapes, but all the colors in the world?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow, looks nice.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It feels like
it
feels like this should be just polka dots.
Yeah.
But they're much closer in value than we see them.
Mm-hmm.
So the harmony is not in the color scheme, but in the value scheme.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's beautiful.
Mm.
And something I can wrap my head around.
But that,
Ooh, there we go.
Wow.
Yeah, that looks like a Monet painting right there.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Now it looks like a Michael painting.
But that's interesting. I mean, they're much closer in value than they feel like in color. I just had to try that. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's very interesting.
Yeah, the values are correct, even though it's vibrant pink versus a cool blue. Yeah, really interesting. Lovely piece. And
yeah, one more.
I can't believe this is only our first class and you guys are already like batting at the fences.
What's also funny is one more little anecdote. I was doing the pastel the first day, and I had set up my computer recently to do that, touch where you could get your screen back just with a touch. And this is a sanded, you can probably figure out where this is going. This is like a sandpaper finish. And I was doing some of the blending with my forefinger that I had used to set up my touch on my computer. And then like at the next day, all day, I said, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? What did I do? And I went into my settings on my computer and tried to I had sandpapered off my fingerprint. My computer could no longer see my fingerprint.
Oh,
Yeah, you just filled in the crevices. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
finally did figure it out though.
Okay. Well, folks, we are only halfway through our, no, I guess we got about a couple more here. Michelle, Lisa is, how are you doing, Lisa? Are you still here?
Yep, I'm hanging in there.
Yeah, are
I just,
you in bed right now or?
well, I'm in my room because I'm charging my phone. And so
But
it's a
you're
long
up and
story,
about.
but the story
Lisa's
don't
had a
even
lot
finish.
of health issues in the last year, I guess. Well,
Yeah.
multiple years, but just figuring them out.
Yeah, so but yeah, I went up, I did get into my little painting room, but oh my Lord, boy. Well, anyway, it's just going to take a little doing to get it usable again. But I was really amazed after 6 months, some of my oil paints were still moist and usable.
Good.
That's pretty cool.
Well, I know we're all glad to have you in class. We were talking about you 2 weeks ago in the Thursday group, and just glad that you're feeling better. I was telling them I talked to you on the phone, and anyways, I'm so glad you're back or are still with us, painting
Thank
and
you.
talking about art. And it's always a pleasure to have you in class. And yeah, take your time. Continue to get healthy. And we are here whenever you need us and want us. And yeah, I can't wait to see what you come up with when I'm sure you've had some time to think of some paintings and
Oh yeah, my head is so full of paintings. I was really disappointed because I thought I could just kind of go back up there and get going. But yeah, I need to get a little more prep work done. So, but yeah, so I'm still drawing, and that's
yeah,
at least
and
something.
that's important. And it's a beautiful little sketch.
Thanks.
Yeah, really. So yeah, just yeah, and feel free to give me a call maybe next week, and love to catch up with you and see how things are going. So
I made a little comment there about a beautiful balance because it breaks the rules of what you're generally supposed to do, but there's something really nicely done about these two forms that they don't feel unbalanced. It's good. It's really good.
And something I've come to realize is that open forms have their own weight.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, you think of a yin and yang.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think that the white of the wave caps is pretty subtle, but I think that also sets it off a little bit.
Yeah, adds that little bit of motion and movement. Otherwise, yeah, it'd be really still and steady. So
Cooper, that's enough.
Cooper, attack.
Cooper, no, I don't even know what he sees out there. Now he's at the back door, so it must be somebody walking down the street.
Magdalena, can we talk about this one? Is this the one you would like to talk about? The fisherman or the guy in a boat?
Ooh. That's my favorite.
That's
I love that one.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so, I mean, talk about poetry, right? It's just so subtle. I mean, he doesn't even have a ripple. Like this guy has not rowed his oar in a while. Like it is just, he's just been sitting there enjoying the view. I think something so amazing about a still moment within a still moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
And unfortunately, I don't think Magdalena's with us still. hopefully you get a chance to watch this, but yeah, I think we very much appreciate it. I mean, I can see how many people like this photo, and yeah, there's something just in the beautiful simplicity. I'll talk a lot about our family cabin that we get to visit regularly, only a little distance from our house. And my favorite time is just when it's me, only me, and the loons and maybe a goose out on the lake and the fog. And I just, it is literally my happiest of happy places. Yeah, I would love to, I'm curious about your still life setups, and they almost seem to be emitting light, kind of interesting effect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of like brass or copper or something interesting. So anyways,
Yes.
sorry we didn't get to you before you had to drop off, but I look forward to all right. So this is a photo I took of the Oregon coast just on a morning walk. And so the sun comes from the east and we're on the west coast. So the cloud just illuminated and yeah, made some interesting shapes. So I'm so excited that somebody else found it exciting besides just me. And I would love to hear what your thoughts are. And again, let me say it before you say it. Mind Jay?
Pretty good.
How do you say it?
Mindship.
Mindship.
Mindship. Yeah,
Mindship.
it's okay. It's
I
okay.
overthought it.
That's
Mindship.
well, that's what I did with these paintings. It took me whoa, quite a while, because first I made the other one, and in the class you took a picture and you simplified the picture. So that's kind of what I wanted to do with this painting. I just wanted to take elements, and for some reason this first one was a really big struggle. Actually, I set it up 3 times and I washed it all off because it's water mixable oils. And then the 4th times I was like, okay, I gotta stick with it. So, and then this came out, but I had a very hard time to keep the paint on this little board. So I thought, well, I'll just try it again. And then I made the other one and I was a little bit more successful.
Okay, well, I already have 2 pieces of advice, and I
Okay.
know that Gail and Nyla would both tell you the same thing. So what you've got here is the underpainting, which is great, and you just need to revisit it.
Yeah.
These darks, this whole bottom area. I mean, again, squinting our eyes, it's one of your best tools, or taking your glasses off, but the values are so close.
Yeah.
Like, this is not nearly dark enough.
Yeah.
And that's all you have to do
Yeah.
is just make that darker, and all of a sudden it's going to come alive and sing.
Yeah. Are
Right,
these two
Nyla?
different? Are
That's
these
what
2
Nyla
different
was gonna say.
paintings? Are these 2 different paintings, or
Yeah,
is-
they are different.
Okay,
Different
'cause I-
paintings. Yeah. I was actually thinking that to do that while we were going into all the other paintings. I thought, well, yeah, I'm going to revisit it. This one, I liked it more.
Yeah.
Paint sticked a little bit better, and I purposely chose a black and white photograph because I wanted to fill in the colors, the idea of the color and the light myself.
No, this is definitely much better. This is
Yeah.
so much more interesting.
Yeah.
And the reason is because you have contrast of warm, cool, light, mid value, and darks. Whereas the
Right.
other one is all just kind of
All light.
washed out. Yeah. It's just, I mean, if we turn this into a black and white, it would disappear.
Right, with a few little sticks.
Whereas this one would probably be even almost better.
Mhm.
Because I think you could actually make some of your warms even lighter. And I think you could make some of these darks even darker.
I love how you changed the shape of the cloud to make more of a C composition. The first one, it was more straight up and down. you curved it and it follows the tree lines and it makes this beautiful composition. That's one
Yeah.
of the things I'm really
Mhm.
attracted to.
Yeah,
in
I
it.
think I loosened up a little bit more with this one as well. I was way too tight. It took me, as I said, I was really overthinking it and worked a long time with what am I gonna take? What am I gonna do here? And what is the question? And then all of a sudden, when the question came to me, it was easier to choose what to do here.
I really like that. Yeah. I mean, I love that question. What lies beyond the limit of the sky?
I wonder.
I really like the the softness of the cloud above that third tree.
Thank you.
Up on the other side, Michael, where it's yellow and white, and then she goes
Yeah.
into the I really, really like that softness there.
And what a beautiful luminous blue up at the top.
Yeah, that part's
That's-
crazy to me.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah, I think both paintings, just don't be afraid to revisit them and just think, what can I do? Like, can I cool down an area? Can I lighten? Like, this is warm, but I really feel like it could be quite a bit lighter in value and really make this dramatic. Here's the other thing. If you remember when I was painting the trees earlier, and we were talking about how I make them skinnier towards the top.
Yeah.
See how this branch is the thickest here.
I
This
know.
one's the thickest here. Don't worry. Everybody does this.
Oh.
Everybody does this. What
You
you
know,
want to do is you want to lift your brush as you finish your branch.
Yeah, I actually I started from the other side and I started with a very long pointy brush and I touch it and I just reverse it. So I touch really light and then I try to touch a bit more. But I'm gonna try your way.
So what I suggest doing, especially when you're dealing with branches or different things, is have a piece of paper, even just a piece of cardboard on the side, and practice the stroke once or twice before you paint. I wish I would follow that advice. It's genius.
Yes, good. I will work on it.
Beautiful. I mean,
I love the movement.
I can't believe this is our first class and people are just going really, really being brave. There we go. People are really being brave and going. I mean, you could have stopped here, but this is so much more effective and so much more interesting. And it makes me go, oh, what would have happened if you had done a third one?
That's that's an interesting idea. Am I?
I think you should.
Well,
Yeah,
the third one is probably revisiting the very first one.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very different story. The two pictures have very different stories.
All right. Oh, Nyla does have a picture.
Barely. It's not the one that I had painted for the assignment, which I absolutely hate. And I'm going to say, thank you, painting, and throw it away. But I believe I'm going to go ahead and post it because it kind of gives you some insight into what my last week was. It was.
I love this.
Yeah, that's a beautiful painting, Nyla.
Thank you.
Yeah, the textures are phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think for me, an initial concept is that your foreground is so lackluster and not interesting. But at the same time, it allows me to quickly jump up to here. This is kind of the focal area, and this is a focal area. but this feels so sketchy, so I'm a little nervous about it. But yeah,
What
tell
would
us
you
about
put
this
there?
picture. Tell us a little
Well,
bit about why you painted it.
I painted it because the barn is a friend's mother's barn. It no longer exists,
Oh,
but it was a very special barn to him. And I asked him to send me a picture so that I could paint the barn for him.
ah.
And the reason for the question, what shelters here, is, this barn was in its last days, but it was a shelter to so many little creatures, probably.
Yeah.
That there were lots of insects, mice, probably some feral cats.
Yeah.
And,
Could be.
and sometimes if an animal was caught in a storm, it might shelter there. And my idea was that, as long as we're alive or we're on Earth, we have a purpose.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we can still be something special to other people.
I
Yeah.
like it better now.
No, I
Better now.
definitely, that's why I shouldn't have spoke so quickly. But what you did do, even with me bad mouthing your foreground, is that it literally is like, there's no doubt this is the subject, right? This got the detail, this got the contrast, this got the lines, tight edges. This just lets us through
Yeah.
the
Well, I was
soft
trying to-
edges.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, please.
I was just trying to loosen up because you know how tight I can be. And
Yes.
I've done another painting of this that the background trees are much more detailed. My friend likes detailed paintings, but I thought I would take both of them and see, which one he would like to have.
That's so sweet of you. And that you are the barn. Look at you giving back, and that's really cool.
So Michael, what would you do in that foreground? Would you bring some of that yellow down in there, or?
First thought is to get rid of it. Like, I'm not sure what purpose it serves, or to get rid of a lot of it. And just let us in.
Mm-hmm.
So what this serves as, Nyla, is something the viewer has to step over.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost a fence that says you're not invited. And your whole story was about how this was a barn for so many things, and a shelter. But this grass just creates a barrier.
Yeah, I did have an open area at first, but the open area kept bothering me. So I just filled it in at the last minute.
Yeah, it almost looks like there's a path in the kind of the lower right that would kind of go in line with those the brown clumps farther in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the same problem I had with my painting. The grasses that were across in the foreground were a barrier, so I eliminated them and just kind of suggested some in the corner.
Yeah, I'm literally looking at my painting behind me, and I'm like, oh, I have a wall letting me into that painting. Like, yeah, it's such a thing. But what it does do is it fights against the poem that you're making of this. This is an inviting space that lots of people or animals and creatures
want to get.
And this says you're not welcome.
Yeah. Well, some of those little creatures may live there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they have plenty of other spaces.
Barns usually have cow paths.
Oh, let me have an excuse, Michael.
I know. It's just a narrative thing, right?
Yeah, a praying mantis might live in that grass.
Yeah.
That's right. No, so yeah, it's not right, it's not wrong. They're all arguable. Yeah. I love your tech. I mean, I don't even know how you painted these
I know.
textures up here. Palette knife?
It's
I
beautiful.
did use a palette knife. Mhm.
You're so much braver than me.
Oops, sorry.
No. I love it. Yeah, I think it's beautiful, unrefined. I'll be curious what would you say it was your cousin?
No, Curtis is a really good friend of ours. And he loved that old barn. He had we stayed there a year or so ago, and they had a picture on the wall of his mother's old barn. And I had heard of the old barn before, and so I just asked him to send me the picture so I could paint it.
Was there no, like a dirt path or dirt driveway leading?
No,
because
in
most
fact,
old barns have, horses going to and fro or cows.
the picture he sent me didn't have anything other than the trees in the background. The barn was in the center of the photograph, and then it was just green grass in front all the way across. I added the trees on the left and the grass and the different little grasses that are growing here and there to try to, bring it up to my point of interest.
This is actually the only time that I go to photographs. I would be then going and looking up Googling on the web and saying old barns, and I would see if I could find one that had a different entranceway.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
it
considered-
looks like a barn that hasn't been used in a long time. Like
That's-
literally nothing is driven up, no animals have, you know what I mean? No horses or,
No, there were no paths of any type in the photograph. It was just grass and a barn in the background, trees. And there were some
Yeah,
shadows on the front of the barn, but there wasn't anything to explain the shadows. And so I was assuming that there were things over to the left in the photograph that just were not in the picture. And the sun is coming from the left, and so my shadow is over to the right, most of my shadow. But there had to be something somewhere that was making some shadows on the ground.
yeah.
I think a little break on the lower left near those trees would come in and follow those bushes around.
Yeah. And even if it is all grass, let's say it just rained, there could be some puddles or something to catch the light that's on the ground. That's one way that you might be able to get around the fact that there are no paths.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I don't care.
Oh yeah.
No, it
yeah.
is
I get
beautiful,
it.
and I'm sure they're gonna love it. Just artistically, again, what I would do is see the 3 orange patches of grass, and then the foreground grass it's all warm. I would bring in some cool, doesn't have to be blue, but coolish shadow colors, figuring out where the lighting is again. And then same thing here, possibly opening this, but if the viewer, we don't, the audience, and you're painting for the audience, and you're being such a generous person. So I mean, I'm infatuated with the texture, the boards, the colors. Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Well, and
But I'm sure they're gonna love it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I'm wondering if the grass in front is almost a metaphor for you can't get back there anymore because it's not here.
Oh, that's a thought.
Good metaphor.
Because you can't go back because it's not there.
Well,
So
it was strictly out of use at the time that he had the picture made. There were no paths or
Right.
tracks or anything anywhere around.
I was just thinking it kind of frames it as kind of like we said, that there's no way to get there. I mean, you can, but yeah, just kind of a metaphor for it's not there. I don't know.
All right, I gotta keep moving because I've got to actually go to work and make paintings.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, no, I got my sister's birthday today. Regini, do you have anything new to share?
I will submit next week. Sorry.
Okay. No problem. That makes this whole thing much faster. All right, you guys. Normally class will not go this long. Am I stopped sharing? Do you guys see me now?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, great. This was a ton of fun, an amazing first class. I mean, literally people just really going for it. And that's a ton of fun to see. So glad to have everybody back. Guess I need to think of what the homework is.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I had one question. I keep getting all these emails, and people are commenting. They're from the Padlet, and I don't know what they're commenting on, because then when I click on it, it takes me to just the front end of the Padlet.
Yeah, mine too. I've been getting that too.
And I haven't been getting the comments at all. So I
No.
think that has to do with the way I'm not linked up or something.
Well, or turn off notifications. You can control that.
Yeah, I was wondering if you turn it off in Padlet, or where do you turn it off?
I had a video in the last class.
All right, well, don't worry about it next week. I just wanted to ask, so as long as it's something comes up later.
Let me really quickly check in our Padlet communication.
It would be
emails, but I just erase them.
It would be fine if it took you right to whatever the comment was talking about, but it doesn't. And so then you don't know who was commenting on what.
Yeah, exactly. I've found that to be really annoying. Okay, I thought I had a link on there, so I'll see if I can find how to control that. If not, we'll figure that out going forward. Yeah, homework this week is just to work on, well, no, let me figure it out and think about it.
You had, during class, and on that handout, you had talked about creating thumbnail sketches.
Yeah, create a thumbnail sketch that shows the foreground, middle ground, and background, add arrows to show how you want the eye to travel.
And I don't know, maybe we could choose one of those to do a finished work if we wanted to get, what's the word, motivated or, you know,
Motivated. Now there's a good idea.
Inspired.
Yeah, so here would be your next project, or the final would be, what choices did you make to guide the viewer? What emotions does your composition evoke? So yeah, just taking it, figuring out. I mean, I think that's so useful. I don't think we think about that enough, is how do we want the end viewer? You know, I was telling you about, I literally will visualize the dream of having the painting in the gallery and somebody looking at it. And I literally think about that sometimes before I start my paintings, is what's happening? What are they looking for? How is their eye moving? And then I, no joke, think about like them going, you've got to come look at this painting. Look what's happening. And, you know, that's the dream. That's the goal. The average amount of time that somebody looks at a painting is 3 seconds. So if I get 4 seconds, I'm winning. And my goal is to make them literally walk across the room up to my painting and study it, and then go tell a friend about it, and then buy it.
Yeah.
But anything beyond 3 seconds, I mean, okay, you guys have all done this. We've all done this, right? And I've said this before. Sorry, Gail, I can see you going, oh, here comes this story again. we walk into a gallery, a show, you know, we've been invited, it's friendly, and there's 50 paintings along the walls wrapping around, you know what I mean? And we just walk up, look at the painting, sidestep, look at the painting, sidestep, look at the painting, right? That's how long we give them. And these paintings could have taken hours, weeks, months, and we give them 3 seconds. And I do that, and you do that, we all do that. And all we want is 4 seconds. So how do we do it? How do we buy 1 more second? How do we buy that much more attention? How do we bring them in from across the room? All right. I don't know what the homework is. Make a painting that gets 4 seconds.
Well,
I
you
think
did
we're
one
gonna,
that-
weren't
you
we
did
gonna
one
try and find a
that-
difficult photo or something like that? And try
Oh,
to-
well, that's part of it. Yes. If you'd like
Yeah,
me to
that's
us to give feedback on that, but we can't do too many of them. That'll take forever. But
And you
yeah,
did
just a
one,
couple of like nearly good painting or nearly good photos. What will put? Yeah.
I think you wanted us all to focus on value in our thumbnails. You know,
Yeah.
Note and values.
This is the problem with teaching 23 things in each class. So yes, the no tan, but I love the idea of no tans, black and white, or, you know, but I think 3 values is the best place. 4
agree,
values is
because-
great. Up to
Because
5,
ju-
but
just
never.
those 2 values, I take a look at it and it's like nothing there. It's hard to discern what's on that painting sometimes.
But what's funny is I'm looking over your shoulder and at your olive trees, and I can totally see that as a no tan. And I think that's why that's one of your strongest paintings, is that you found the lights and the darks in your paintings.
Okay.
Question me. All right. So anyways, I'll get the homework. Otherwise, it is just finding an image that works in 2 to 3 values and then picking some painting or photos that you think would be that are almost there, like something that we as a group can discuss and figure out, you know, what are different ways that we would approach Darlene Crow's beautiful photo, but it's not quite there. Like, why hasn't Darlene painted this in 10 years? She's got it sitting there in a reference file. What's the thing that's missing? What's the leading
many
lines?
of
What's the value
those.
contrast? What's that?
I have so many of those. This is going to be a wonderful class. Unfortunately, I'm going to be late for part of it, but I'll rewatch it. Don't forget to tape it.
Okay. Well, this
Because
class was brought to you by Cheryl.
I
will give
really
full credit
need
to
this.
Cheryl.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
I think it's
miss-
a great idea. I think I could teach an entire class on this. It's just
Mhm.
looking through almost
True.
their images and what
Right.
are things we can do. And there's no right answer. It's not like, oh, put a creek in and put a trail in. You know what I mean? It's all these things that we
Yeah, I
could-
just want to hear the different things that
yeah.
people have.
I missed last Thursday. What happens tomorrow on Thursday? Do you all, everybody paint together? What is Thursday?
Photo.
Whatever you want to do.
I
No, yeah, it's just a get together. It's very just social.
Okay. Okay, good.
It's just come and hang out if you want to paint. I think probably last week there was 10 and 7 of us were painting. I think 1 person was walking a dog, and yeah, just whatever you want to do. We just talk about art.
Okay.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
Awesome.
Right.
All right, you
Have a
guys.
good evening.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah.